Good morning, everyone. A good Erev Shabbos, and we will continue with our Friday morning learning of a Bitachon message from the Parsha, Parahas Bechukosai. There is a fascinating dichotomy of ideas that the Parsha introduces to us. This is one of the Yesodos, one of the foundations of our Yiddishkeit, and that is that there is something that is called Midah Keneged Midah, measure for measure. The way in which you will act towards Hashem, that is the way that Hashem is going to act towards you. If a person acts in ways that are congruous with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's Ratzon, we do mitzvahs, we perfect our midos, we're involved with chesed, we have yiras shamayim, we are trying our best to help every other Jew that's out there. If a person, and we defend the honor of the Rabbi Shalom, if a person will live their life in that way, then the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure of that person will be brachas and simcha and goodness and health and all the many things that Hashem wants to bring to a person. If chalila, a person will end up acting in ways that are antithetical to the ways of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a person is involved in averas, a person is involved in lowly things, a person is destroying his morality, consuming all of the pleasures of this world in a way that is above and beyond what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. So then the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure of that person, is going to be punishments and warnings and destruction and sickness and loss of parnasa and difficulties and challenges that a person never expected or experienced before. The entire Parasha Bechukosai is based upon this truth of how Hashem runs the world. And that's why he says in the beginning, Bechukosai teilechu, if you will walk in the ways of my statutes, and you will guard my mitzvahs, v'asisa my son, and you will do them, then there'll be a slew of brachas that are going to come to the life of that Jew and to Klal Yisrael. It's simple, says HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Do the right thing, follow in my pathways, align yourself with the Ratzon Hashem, and I, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, will be so pleased and overjoyed, I will just load you up with blessings that are beyond what the human mind could imagine. However, in Bechukosai lo yisei, if you don't follow in the pathways of my mitzvahs, and you don't guard them, and you don't do them, and you go along with me, as it says in the verse, Bekeri, you go along casually, without really any intent, and no commitment to the mitzvahs the way that it should be, and you're involved in sinful behavior that once again is the opposite of what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, then there's a long list of klalos, of curses that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I have no choice, I have to bring it upon Klal Yisrael because they stepped out of line. Midah keneged midah, measure for measure, I will step out of line as well, says Hashem, and instead of giving you the goodness of what you're looking for into your life, is going to come difficulty and challenges and perhaps suffering and pain as well, unfortunately. Of course, though, if you will gird yourselves with strength and you will recalibrate your ways and your actions, and you will begin to be chayze b'tshuva, to return in the ways that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, then once again the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure, will wipe away the curse, wipe away the destruction, and bring back an influx, a hashpah, a positivity, a blessing of the goodness from Hashem. This is a world of bitachon, where a person has to see be'amunah shlema, and they trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that if I do the right thing, Hashem, you're going to load me up with the right things. If I do the wrong thing, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're going to be upset with me, and Chalilu, who knows what kind of destruction could come. And if a person will look in history of Klal Yisrael, if they will look in the good times or the dark times, we will see very clearly that there was always this tenuous relationship between us and Hashem of the midah keneged midah, of the measure for measure. The way that we act towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that is the way that He's going to act towards us. Our actions are triggers in the heavens. They either trigger the influx of bracha, of positive hashpah, or Rahman al-Zan, they trigger the influx of the negativity. A person who is a Baal Bitachon, A person who trusts in this truth and they rely upon the fact that that's the way that Hashem set up the world, and we look with our own eyes and we see it. So then we think twice before we do the wrong thing. And we'll think twice to give ourselves an infusion of bechira, of free will, to even in the challenging moments where it's hard to know right from wrong, to make the right choice, because we know Mida Keneged Mida, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to bring the good if we do the good. So as we're machazik ourselves in these inyanim, in these areas, and we strengthen ourselves in the emunah and the bitachon, that this is the way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world. There is no other way that He runs the world. So it makes a person that much more accountable for their actions, sensitive to the right thing, and try with an aversion to the wrong thing. And in that way, the midah keneged midah, the measure for measure that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to do in a person's life, will be with all the good that we do and all the efforts that we make to come close to Hashem. Measure for measure, HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to come close to us. Have a wonderful day and a wonderful Shabbos.